all of us as IMAA members, partners, in this world of media and communications we find ourselves in. So before we begin today, we, SBS, will acknowledge, of course, the traditional custodians of country throughout Australia and their connections to land, sea and community. We pay our respect to their elders past and present, and we extend that respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples today. Presenting today here from SBS is myself as the National Direct Sales Manager. We have Jackie Stenmark, just to keep it easy. We thought we'd keep the names the same, but also Jackie Stenmark is presenting today as our National Audio Sales Manager, and Brett Islub is presenting as our National Digital Sales Manager today. And together we will present, I guess, a really deep dive into how SBS began, why SBS is still so important, and I guess how all of us in everything that we're doing hopefully inspires all Australians to explore, respect and celebrate this diverse world we find ourselves in. And by doing so, we're actually contributing to an inclusive and cohesive society. I don't know if any of you know, but SBS actually began as two small multilingual radio stations way back in 1975. So we are celebrating our 50th anniversary this year. We've always been entrusted with sharing information to Australia's growing migrant population about a nascent universal healthcare program. That's why we began 50 years ago. And that healthcare program we know today as Medicare. So a very important role that SBS played in our history as well. Not only that, but we have grown from those two radio stations that we began as a really truly multilingual broadcaster in Australia. And our success, I guess, is a network that is underpinned by a truly distinctive offering, as Nikki mentioned at the beginning. We are the world's largest multilingual broadcaster with an expanding linear television network across SBS, Viceland, SBS Food, World Movies, World Watch, and of course NITV. And we have also added in our multi-channels and the success with SBS Audio, and a very exciting update on SBS On Demand that's going from strength to strength too, thanks to Brett. And together, all of those brands, we reach over 13.2 million Australians every month. So we're really proud to say that we are a network that's growing and has grown significantly from our humble beginnings. I guess we do that because SBS takes you to places that no other networks do in Australia, whether it's, sex before soccer and yes, baby afterwards too, they say, or broadcasting news that recognises the other 194 countries on the planet, or documentaries that annoy the narrow-minded, I guess. We quite simply go there. I'm not sure if any of you have seen our most recent marketing campaign, but it's bold, it's brave, and it's unapologetic.
You won't see this on regular TV.
You won't get this close to the action! You're going to have to stop here because there's someone on the pitch.
Stay 63.
You won't get this close to survival or death. You won't see this much of the world on TV.
Put some pants on.
Or feel things you've never felt before.
But you will on SBS.
So I guess we go there. It's part of who we are and who we want you and encourage you to be as well. There are three key takeouts that we want you to walk away with today. It's not an SBS sell. It's really just, I guess, reminding you of why it's so important to engage all Australians in your communications, how to reach them, and that we too are serious about sustainability and have an ongoing commitment to protecting the very world with which we live in. So our presentation today will encompass these three key takeouts. Of course, diversity, equity and inclusion are goals that are absolutely valid in everything that we do and a reason to communicate in more diverse ways than ever before. So we've, I guess, love acronyms at SBS, but we've come up with our own acronym, and that is ENCCA. And I guess if DE&I is all about outcomes, we want this new acronym to represent engaging and celebrating contemporary Australia. So I don't know if you're able to, or if you want to, or just even virtually popping your hands up, because I have a question. How many of you were actually born overseas? Quite a few, starting to pop through. Or how many of you have a parent who were born overseas? I come from Hungarian heritage. My dad was born in Hungary, so I'm definitely one of those as well. And I guess comparing ourselves to the population, 51% of Australians were actually born overseas or have parents who were born overseas. So by this very definition and this very statistic, we do represent that we have a majority multicultural nation. And actually, when you think of other multicultural nations like the US or the UK, you can see that we actually index higher for speaking a language other than English at home or for Australians who are born overseas, with over 27.6% of us born overseas. So I guess the SBS strength really lies in understanding and authentically engaging with these communities. So if your brand isn't speaking to these audiences, you could be simply missing out on a really big, broad Australian group. According to Mark Pritchard, he's the Chief Brand Officer of Procter & Gamble, and I read his quote, "Multicultural marketing is mainstream marketing, and it may be the single biggest source of market growth in our industry now and for the next several years, perhaps even decades." So if this applies to the world generally, I guess, it definitely applies particularly to Australia, who is a multicultural nation. So we want to make sure that all of you as IMAA clients and members and advertisers are connecting with Australia's new consumers. You know, they contribute to over 1.5% of our retail growth in Australia every year. There are over 5.6 million Australians who speak a language other than English. So now is the time for all of you and your clients to really tap into this high spending audience and unlock the audience that will drive growth for your clients too. Not only that, but here are some examples of some recent connections that we did actually work with brands on. For examples, we worked with AGL, we've worked with NRMA, and I'm personally proud of the Woolworths campaign that I worked on, where we used cultural and generational insights from culturally diverse Australians to create and share recipes and budgeting tips that reflect and celebrate the diverse ways we all celebrate Christmas. And we're really proud to say we have many case studies and examples that we can share with you if interested as well. But we can't do that without great content. So it's really important. There's two ways that we cater to these audiences, and that is through content and through connection. So we do have and have had blockbusters that I'm hoping some of you have actually enjoyed this year and in the past few years as well. The success of big blockbusters like The Handmaid's Tale, that we just ran the final season. Alone Australia, we've had 3 of the most successful commissioned Alone Australian series, and even overseas dramas like Rogue Heroes, which is the thrilling World War II drama series, that's returning as well. But these content drops have been hugely successful for us as well in reaching over 3.68 million Australians with The Handmaid's Tale, Alone Australia reaching 3.95 million people, and Rogue Heroes. And these are some of the numbers that you're probably quite shocked to see on SBS that, as I said, began as a radio station some 50 years ago. But alongside these really big content moments and content drops, we also have and continue to tell stories that matter through our bold documentaries, like The Idea of Australia, for example, or Tell Me What You Really Think, or Insight every Tuesday night, really discussing thought-provoking topics as well. And we connect with this audience, I guess, by knowing how to speak to them. And this is a constant evolution. We can't do this without understanding who is the audience. So currently, Australia's top languages are evolving. So while we see Mandarin and Arabic language use in Australia continue to rise, Italian is actually on the decline. And we do this and we evolve our language top audiences every census. So not only that, but we also have our top growing languages as well, which some of you might be interested to see that Punjabi, Nepali and Urdu are all on the rise. Urdu is the national language of Pakistan, if some of you are interested as well. But in connecting with our newest Australians, we must, of course, always, just as important, to connect with the first Australians, you know, those who have told stories and connected for over 80,000 years. So NITV is the home of Indigenous storytelling. You know, we're Australia's only national broadcaster in Indigenous storytelling that inspires, I guess, instills pride and leads to a greater understanding of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples and cultures made by and for Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. NITV helps all Australians to connect with our rich Indigenous history. So having that national reach creates efficiencies for all of your clients as well to really tap into and be involved with NITV too. And why is that? I guess because, our First Nations content is being consumed. There's over 25 million hours of content on NITV that has been consumed across the network. So super exciting. At SBS, we also really are proud of the thought leadership pieces of research that we do, and it's really an extremely important part of what we do and continue to be relevant for our audience. We have just released a new research piece. It's called What Australia Means to Me, and it's a major study, I guess, done in partnership with Western Sydney Uni. It's a detailed temperature check on Australia and Australian sentiments. And there's some key takeouts, I guess, of why this is really important. We've, been doing it tough since COVID. There's financial considerations, but we do remain a high trust society compared to the US, for example. We've reached a tipping point in cultural acceptance from wanting new migrants to assimilate to actually seeing diversity as a national superpower. And Australians want brands to really represent their priorities better. So this piece of research is available for all of you to sit and listen to as well. But how do you reach them, I guess, and how do you reach our audiences? I'm going to pass over to Brett and Jack to take you through two of our additional and deep dive into two of our most important channels with SBS On Demand and SBS Audio.
Thank you very much, Jack. In an ever-increasing video landscape, SBS On Demand is proud to see continued growth through our differentiated content and our world-class user experience as we continue to put the audience at the forefront of everything that we do. This has resulted in 11% year-on-year growth in overall streams, with over 12.9 million Australians having signed up to the platform and averaging around 1.7 million monthly active watchers. If we look at our share year to date in terms of the OzTam VPM share via the VOD market, we're sitting at 23.6%. So we know that as options for both consumers and brands alike continue to expand, SBS On Demand continues to hold that unique position in the Australian video ecosystem. And ensuring that SBS On Demand is truly free and accessible for all Australians, we're the only platform in this market that has a multilingual login, allowing audiences to log into the platform in their native language and gain an entirely translated navigational experience. This not only speaks to our charter, as Jack mentioned up front, and our purpose, but also allows for robust first-party data signals to ensure you can speak to these communities authentically and at scale. We have also invested quite heavily within the data space, so enriching our 12.9 million registered subscribers with third-party data partners. And for this year, these are Gracenote, Experian, Coles 360, and Smarter. So these create rich audience segmentation and the ability to merge audience attributes from these partners, as well as our rich first-party data ecosystem to create bespoke segmentation for your brands. So whether we're targeting families, whether we're looking at content moods, whether we're looking at frequency of shoppers, high income earners, or even outdoor adventure seekers, we have the data infrastructure to ensure that we can find and speak to your audience at scale via the premium global content that Jack has taken you through up front. Additionally, we have also invested in data activation platforms that not only help us understand our audience better, but also create data sharing opportunities in a privacy compliant and secure way. Our Adobe CDP, which is the source of truth for all of the data that we house internally, can also facilitate first-party data sharing alongside platforms LiveRamp and Snowflake to ensure compatibility no matter your tech stack. So whether speaking directly to a brand's customer base to foster loyalty, suppressing them to find prospective customers and grow business, or identifying similar audiences based on customers' attributes to extend reach, SBS On Demand can deliver it. Now, as Jack's mentioned up front, we have always been a little unique at SBS, and this extends to how we support and contribute to the broader industry through initiatives like VOZ and the Video Futures Collective. Having a foot in both camps is imperative to ensure that we continue to be at the forefront of industry discussion, process, and research. Understanding the proliferation of video players globally and in the AU market, We continue to hold that unique position as a global content platform. So ensuring we are not only contributing to the BVOD market, but the broader global video market as well, will see us well placed to work with you on measurement, research, and the evolution of the video industry well into the future. Now, as we touch base on research, as Jack mentioned up front, we roll out thought leadership as part of what we do every year within SBS, but we are coming up to the 7th iteration of our Future of TV Thought Leadership series, which is our annual snapshot of everything happening within the global streaming market. So we investigate the rapid shift we're currently seeing in the market by region, as well as continuing to look at how consumers are struggling with the amount of subscriptions they need to maintain, as well as investigating the current state of global streamers from a profit, original content, and UX perspective. We leave absolutely no stone unturned, and if you've seen any of the previous iterations of this research, you know exactly what I mean. So we look forward to bringing this to you in the second half of the year. I'll hand you over to Jack from the audio perspective.
Thanks, Brett. We heard a little bit about the SBS audio journey at the beginning of the presentation, and we really have evolved a lot in the last 50 years. Today, SBS Audio reaches over 3 million Australians a month and produces content in over 60 different languages across our traditional linear radio channels, our genre channels such as SBS Chill, Pop Asia, and SBS South Asian, and a huge raft of podcasts as well, delivering content designed to engage Australians across news, lifestyle, health and entertainment and more, ultimately winning us Podcast Publisher of the Year for 3 years in a row. And whilst our multilingual content is hugely important and core of what we offer, 41% of our content consumption actually comes from amazing content that we produce in English, whether that is flagship news updates or companion podcasts like Insightful or Eyes on Gilead. Our content is consumed by all Australians and they're not listening anywhere else. About 76% on average of the SBS audio audiences are not listening to the main stations, meaning we can quickly and easily add incremental reach to your audio campaign. And it's our ability to speak to audiences across multiple platforms that will deliver the greatest impact for your clients. The chart we're seeing here shows the cumulative reach of the SBS network, reaching Australians who speak Mandarin, Cantonese, Arabic, Vietnamese, Hindi and Punjabi at home, essentially the top 6 language communities within our country. And it really highlights the strength of buying our platforms together to drive greater efficiencies for your client. As you can see, the SBS audio offering adds a great deal of the incremental reach to your traditional TV and BVOD buys. And multicultural marketing really signifies a deep understanding of the target consumer. And we know that customers are not homogenous. When organisations go out of their way to meet the needs of the diverse customers, they're really rewarded with loyal supporters who return for repeat business and actively campaign within their communities on behalf of that brand. And we know 78% of bilingual Australians agree that it's important for them to maintain and develop the practices of their heritage culture. And we at SBS can help guide you and your clients through this process of talking to Multicultural Australia. Our distinctive in-language team are dedicated to take your brand message and ensure it lands with the right audiences. We can help guide when and where to use in-language creative versus English creative, because what works in English doesn't always translate. To be effective and make more money for your clients, essentially, it's important to think about the nuance and the difference in cultural norms, and our team can help uncover cultural insights, translations, typesettings, in-language voiceovers, the works, to really help engage with Multicultural Australia. Here's an example of some great work we did and our in-language team did for Sydney Water. Sydney Water provided us with their sort of English master, their Bob Creative, with the key message to save water this summer. The brief for us was to rework the creative to appeal to Mandarin and Arabic speaking communities specifically, ensuring though that we maintain the core messaging and the tone of the original creative. Our in-language production team offered essentially end-to-end production services, including creative ideation, translation, typesetting, transcreation, as well as then production processes across the whole suite of assets. Prior to landing on the below messaging, the team workshopped some ideas around who would be selected to represent each language group. And essentially with SBS Arabic, we proposed "Water is life," a phrase which holds significant cultural resonance in Arabic speaking communities And for the Chinese communities, we proposed a phrase, "We know the worth of water when the well is dry." This Chinese proverb, widely recognized and understood by Chinese audiences, effectively conveys the value of water. And so the creative ran in print, out of home, in social, and of course audio, and was intending to remind the cold communities to be water wise. So we really invite you to reach out to us to learn how we can support you and your clients in this space. And our great work with Cultural Connect continues. And I'm going to hand you back to Jack Kay, who's going to go through Cultural Connect and more.
Let's just have a look at the two goals in particular.
How are football fans using their love of the game to make football more sustainable?
If Argentina win, my life is complete.
And here in the desert, you'll feel so much more.
This year on the Tour de France, Harvey Norman is giving you the chance to win a $10,000 gift card.
Make a sound when you come around. Only 'cause I need you now. Only 'cause I need you now.
That is something that people are going to be happy with.
Alone Australia is brought to you by Kia.
A splash of soy sauce.
Did anything surprise me, mate? DNA? It's always a 5% Scottish, actually.
Two hosts, one problem, two possibilities.
Brought to you in partnership with CGU Insurance.
This series is created in partnership with Medibank because it really impacts our health.
What is responsible banking?
Responsible banking is all about where that money is going.
When I'm creating things with my hands, I'm not even in my head.
We've done the tour of Tassie, the Tamar Valley, Derwent Valley, Huon Valley, all the valleys.
All the valleys.
Jack, you're on mute.
Apologies, I mentioned that was a short ad break that was brought to you by our SBS Cultural Connect team, who we work really closely with, obviously, to deliver customised integrated solutions that are reaching all our audiences. So hopefully many of you are surprised and delighted by the big brands and the smaller brands that we've worked with to make that happen, whether that's across program sponsorships, brand funded content productions, really integrated program partnerships, creating commercials. And we do that across our ecosystem of linear television, BVOD, audio, socials, and online. And we can't do all of that without protecting the environment for the communities that we do actually serve. So as we continue to strive to create this better world that we're in, we recognise the importance to protecting the environment for the communities we serve. Therefore, it's only natural that we are committed to being leaders in sustainability across the board. Last year, we set a bold net zero target by 2045, we switched to 100% renewable energy, and we partnered with Scope 3 to measure our digital emissions, making us the first Australian television and audio network to actually do so. Next year, we are going to further this initiative with two other major initiatives, expanding our Scope 3 partnership by sharing all of our direct campaign data for a really transparent view of our digital footprint, and becoming a foundation member of Ad Net Zero in Australia to help decarbonise the advertising industry. So we are the first Australian broadcaster to have near and long-term carbon reduction targets validated by the SBTi. And I guess we know that traditionally content and production can be a very heavy contributor to carbon emissions. So to celebrate another network first, The Cook Up with Adam Liao is SBS and Australia's first television program to have its carbon footprint validated by the Albert Toolkit through Sustainable Screens Australia. We're thrilled to see The Cook Up achieving this important Australian television first, which recorded emission levels below international industry averages, demonstrating the work that is being done, both behind and in front of the camera, to lead in sustainability. We're also planning to roll this out across other programs across SBS too, with Insights as the next program to come. I guess to really show our commitment to sustainability as well, we did recently hold an inaugural sustainability challenge that we put out to our advertisers, and it was launched to really challenge the advertising market, to push brands and advertising agencies to do more to just normalise sustainable behaviour and better environmental consumer practices. How exactly? By brands making these messages loud and clear in their advertising campaigns. We put out a challenge that we offered $500,000 in advertising inventory for the best TV creative, which we're currently in the process of reviewing and finalising. So some exciting updates to come there. There's a real buzz around SBS at the moment. There always is whenever we have a World Cup. So next year across June and July of 2026, we will be the official broadcasters of the next FIFA World Cup. So the next biggest full ecosystem, I guess, of opportunity of soccer and football content is to come. You may have seen we have presented quite a few presentations across the year, and there's many more to come. So if interested, get in touch. But also, I just wanted to leave you, of course, with some thought-provoking documentaries still to come on SBS this year, which is a look at our documentary slate.
Oh my God. Going to the heart of Australia, finishing here, top of the world.
Jawohl.
Ist das alles?
There have always been many stories of Australia.
If you don't know the past, you can't go forward.
The fact that we're grappling with it is good. It's a chance to heal.
This year, millions of us will escape to Portugal. I'm in a tunnel underneath the Roman Forum. I don't know how they don't fall down.
I think I'm melting.
How can we make tomorrow better than yesterday?
This show is about solutions and the people behind them.
Just a small taste of some content that you might be interested to watch over the next few months. So let's be upfront, I guess, in 2026 that's coming up, we will showcase a lineup that is going to be super strong that I reckon a lot of you will think no one's going to compete with. We've got a big lineup in 2026 that we're proudly going to be presenting at our upfronts in September. And hopefully, I guess today's presentation, we've walked you through engaging with all Australians is at the heart of everything that we do at SBS across all our platforms and channels. We can reach them in any which way we need to, and that I guess we're really serious about sustainability as well. These are the three key things that we just want you to think about and take away from today's presentation. But of course, we're here for any questions from the presentation that you've seen today as well. So let us know if you have any questions. Plus, we also have the feedback QR code too, to please scan and provide any feedback to the IMAA too. Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you so much from the team at SBS. That was a really insightful presentation, and we really appreciate you taking the time to share your insights and the vital role that SBS plays in helping brands connect meaningfully with all Australians. One last reminder, guys, if you can just, again, like Jackie said, just click on the QR code just to provide us with a little bit of feedback. It's a quick one-question survey. Again, please don't forget to RSVP to myself for our Soundbites event this week. We hope everybody has a wonderful week, and we will see you same time next week. Thank
you all for your time.
Thanks, Nikki. Thanks.
Thanks, Nikki.
guys.
Thanks, Tian.